most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. Thank you, Sean. The man I worked for had one of the biggest companies in New York City. He ran it for more than 50 years. 15 years, 8 months and 9 days. I was with him every day. I worked for him, I protected him, I looked after him, I learned from him. He was rich, but he wasn't white man rich. See, he wasn't wealthy. He didn't own his own company. He thought he did, but he didn't. He just managed it. White man owned it, so they owned him. Nobody owns me.
Philippians 2:3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. In the NLT translation, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Call halam la Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Waha, Wakakodash, Wada Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Kaha Wakakodash, and double honors to the hopefully elect elder apostle slave to be saved, Lord willing, starting with those at the great millstone church on down to the rest that may be out here abiding under the same doctrine. And much peace and many blessings to the rest of the brothers teaching this truth. And much peace and many blessings to the rest of you believers, you men, women, and children out here and on this faith also of the Israelite race, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right. Ultimately, shalom to the elect and 1/3, those that will go on to be found to have been of the house of David. So I'm back with another lesson. And in this lesson, you need to reverence those that teach you, man. All right, you can't shade, you can't shade those that teach you, those that enlighten you, those that inspire you. Obviously, if you're in this ministry, man, and if these people are, and if this is happening by people in the ministry, that goes a long way. This is distasteful to do, and it's not actually gonna help complete the job duty, which is exhorting, edifying, and admonishing one another as we are commanded to do. So, like I said, in this sitting, I'm just gonna be pulling some scriptures. And we're just going to cover why you are to do this and why these things, as I said, are true. All right. So Philippians 2:2, I'm going to start at. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Okay. In the NLT, then make me truly happy by agreeing wholeheartedly with each other, loving one another, and working together with one mind and purpose. Let nothing, back in the KJV, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. And it's in the NLT. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. And that's what this lesson, it put me in mind of, American Gangster. It put me in a mind of another movie too. I'm gonna probably save that for another lesson. But you heard it best. It was exhibited best in those two scenes from the movie American Gangster. And these are the traits that Frank Lucas, who Denzel Washington played, possessed. He exhibited. He manifested. He stayed true, man. He wasn't selfish. He wasn't trying to impress others. He just stuck with what he knew and what he was taught. And that's exactly what he went on to confess to. And in the stead of being somebody, he still stayed true to that because that's what he was taught by his predecessor, if you will, which is wickedness on the left hand side, but you still see the message in it. All right, say that the Lord's incorruptible spirit is in all things, but nonetheless, he was in the stead of being somebody. He stuck true to what was, edifying, exhorting and admonishing, if you will. But what he was taught ultimately by Bumpy Johnson, man, and he wasn't just a hearer only. Obviously, he was a doer because he exhibited amongst his brothers, and he showed that same teaching, right? Those same traits in his walk. Period. When he told the waitress, "Thank you, Charlotte." He even addressed her by her name. He's clearly showing that he's not trying to impress. He's not selfish. There's nothing wrong with being selfish. You gotta be selfish in the right ways. There's something wrong with being selfish in the wrong ways. You're not the only one that exists. There's no Frank Lucas without Bumpy Johnson. There's no him sitting down eating without the waitress giving him, which is all spiritual, because they all Israelites. The sister giving him, his coffee, man. And then that was a place for those that's familiar with that movie that he would go often. So he was able to actually convey his message properly and go somewhere to where he can get this message across to his brothers that he would pass this knowledge on to that would need, that obviously they need, man, because it's good to have these particular traits, which once again, those traits was the exact traits we're talking about in this, man. Which is simply, in a nutshell, not shading those that teach you, give light to you, you see what I'm saying, enlighten you, inspire you, etc., man. Help you, man. Because if you're doing that, you're being selfish. So once again, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. You got, men, you got brothers, that actually get this knowledge taught to them, and they try to act like nobody else exists except them. They don't watch nobody. And then they'll use double honors to the apostles and elders as if they're not like that. No, that's a cloak. Say that one time in the beginning of your video and that's it, man. What about the brothers around you? What about the concept of respecting your elders in general, man? Not just the elder apostles. What about elder brothers? What about the brothers that taught you, man? What about the elder apostles and truth? What about the brothers that's not under a particular banner, man, but they still of the same doctrine? Because obviously two can't walk together except they be agreed. But I'm gonna say less, man. It says, I'm gonna read through. It says back in the KJV, look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. You see, let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahushua. And we can read it in NLT. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. You must have the same attitude that Yahushua had, man. Okay? And this is exactly how Yahushua was, man. It says, who being, and back in the KJV, in the form of God, you see, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Well, let's read that in the NLT. Though he was a God, he did not think of equality with God, the Most High, as something to cling to, But back in the KJV, it says, but he made himself, to the next verse, it says, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Okay, and in the NLT it says, instead he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being when he appeared in a human form. So basically, that's what you seen we are to do, and you seen that example shown to you through Frank Lucas in the movie, played by Denzel Washington in the movie American Gangster. He was in that same stead to where he could really fame himself to be somebody. The guy he was just under is no more. He the top dude. He finna take over. He got what he need. He's been, like you put somebody on, they run off. And there's a lot of distasteful people that do that. A lot of reprobate people that do that. Like nothing, no one ever existed. They didn't have no, you're not the Most High, man. You didn't have a beginning or something, if you will, the only one that can do that is Yahweh, man. Period. Okay. And this is a concept you must understand in order to truly worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because you can get so far to where you think you gave yourself this knowledge, man. That's why the Lord set us up with this life as it is. You got parents. They got parents. You see what I'm saying? You got, all walks of life. It was somebody there, if you will, before you. You see, as far as different industries go, like the scriptures say, it says we show reverence to our fathers. How much more? Matter of fact, Hebrews 12:9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? You see, it's somebody that's in, like, yeah, you're a spirit, but you got the number one spirit that allowed you to have your spirit. And he's trying to show you this is a concept you must understand and master. This is something you must fall under, man, or you can't worship the Most High. And he will give you this concept simply by allowing you to have something known as parents, if you will, just so we can understand it. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, moving on, because I'm keeping this according to what we're going into. This is 1 Thessalonians 5. I'm going to actually start at 11. It says, wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even also as ye do. It says, so encourage each other in the NLT and build each other up, just as you are already doing. And we'll go back to the KJV. It says, and we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord. You see, and admonish you, and to esteem you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace amongst yourselves. So you shouldn't be in videos always talking and acting like the reason why you're doing this video is not from a brother. You never mention brothers. You never mention nobody, man. Like you the toe, you the finger, you the back, you the bone. That's man. I'm gonna try to, hold my tongue, man. That's just off. That's whack, man. That's real whack. That's real whack, man. Brothers doing that. The Lord gonna kill niggas, man. And we got the scriptures to prove it. If you still doing that, you a nigga, man. You shouldn't have no problem with doing that, man. And we beseech you, brethren, that to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to know that everybody doing the work, man. Because, and that's obviously in the true doctrine, the doctrine of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua correctly. You're supposed to know. We're supposed to the best of our ability to know these men, because they're not here for no reason, man. And then if you do know them, how you out here acting like you don't know them when they in the body, man? The body, the toe it recognizes the leg recognizes that the foot is how he's standing up, man. The spine, the breast of the body recognizes the spine. You see, the strength of the spine that allows the legs to even be in use, man. It recognizes that, the support that one part gives another, man. So how much more we are to do that if we're actually spiritually compared to this. You see, it says, so we're supposed to know them that labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves. Okay, and we're gonna read it in the KJ and the NLT. This is Paul's final advice. Okay, it says, by the way, this is the header of this passage. It says, dear brothers and sisters, honor those who are leaders. Slakia, honor those who are your leaders in the Lord's work. They work hard among you and give you spiritual guidance. Show them great respect and wholehearted love because of their work, and live peacefully with each other. That's what you're supposed to do, man. You know? So if you got leaders and you're not letting that be known, you see what I'm saying? You're trying to act like you just out here equal with everybody. And that's, you know, the Lord gonna get you, man. He gonna get you. He gonna get you, man. He's gonna get you. You women, the reason why you even know you a Hebrew Israelite is because of these men or your husband, first and foremost. The Lord gonna get your ass, man. And then you men that's leading, you became a head of a camp or something like that, and you don't give double honors to those that was before you, man, that taught you, let alone other brothers that may be so-called, that may be under you, man, or your colleagues, man. You got brothers actually doing videos off other brothers' videos, but they'll try to act like that's not the case, man. The brother gave you utterance in the spirit, man. He sparked you. But you want to dislodge from that. So you're not even in the body no more. How about that? Anyway. Let's go here. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 26. How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you have a psalm, had a doctrine, had a tongue, had a revelation, had an interpretation. Let all things be done unto edifying. You see? Meaning what? Everybody got something to say. Everybody want to say what they, you know, but it may not be edifying. Everybody's want to give what they got and not be concerned with nothing else. It's just me. You know, you're supposed to be bringing this doctrine out in relation to reality, man. You're supposed to be speaking with another in mind. You're not supposed to be just speaking, speaking to be speaking. You're supposed to actually be speaking to people, speaking to actual matters. You see, making this thing real, because it's about real life, man. Anyway, let's jump to 36. It says, what came the word of the Most High, Yahweh Shemiah Shah, out from you? Or came it unto you only? You see that? If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Yeah, basically, you must try to talk like they did. I'm just in existence. We know. The way you distastefully go about, you know, this word existing, the spirit of Yahweh Shemiah Shah, you know, the enlightenment of this truth resting upon you. The way you go about it, you can go about it as if it's just you. You see what I'm saying? That shit just never made sense to me, even in the world, man. How people do that. You know, people will just copy you and just act like you don't exist. So we can never be together. How could that exist on the body, man? How could my toe be still in blood for the rest of my body parts as if they don't exist? Just to conserve it all to themselves and so they can look good and be good. Well, it ain't gonna work like that, man. Once again, you're not a part of the body. Let's read this in the NLT, verse 36. Or do you think God's word, or do you think Yahweh Shemiah Shah's word originated with you, Corinthians? Are you the only ones to whom it was given? So these are Israelites that Paul had to check by the Spirit, because these things was found amongst them. If you claim to be a prophet or think you are spiritual, you should recognize that what I am saying is a command from the Lord himself. But if you do not recognize this, you yourself will not be recognized. You see? So there it is, man. Meaning what? You ain't gonna be ultimately recognized. You ain't gonna get the recognition you want. Ultimately, which is the recognition we're gonna be famous. You're gonna look like somebody in the kingdom of heaven, but you have to do the things in order for that to happen. You know, and ultimately, if it ain't in you, you're not gonna do it anyway, man. The elder apostle Tahar and elder apostle Gabar, they was just going into this on their highways, which was what elder apostle Tahar said. You can't make yourself of the elect, man. The Lord got to make you of the elect, and the elect is gonna do these things, man. They're gonna have these traits. Yeah, they're gonna have to work at it and develop these things, but ultimately they're gonna be able to do it and will do it. But before it's all said and done, and hence the elect consisted of the men, women, and children that will be saved, starting with the 144,000 men, which is 12,000 from each tribe, man. You see, of Israel, respectively. That will be the governed. That will be the leaders, man. Okay, but that's just the point, man. Moving on. This is 2 Corinthians 4. It's locking. 2 Corinthians, let's go to, let's see. Galatians 6, and let's start at Galatians 6 and 3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. It says, but let every man prove his own work, and then shall, see, there it is, man. It says, but let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. See that? It says, verse 4 in the NLT, pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done. You see, you just want people to please you, but if you actually knowing you're going about the doctrine correctly, there go your satisfaction right there. It says, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else. Men trying to sit here and act like other men, but the men you act like, you don't even act like they exist. You're gonna be influenced, man, when you come into this, period. So have some taste and at least acknowledge that. Kobe mimicked Jordan all day. But what didn't make Kobe lame and made that okay is that the fact he acknowledged that, man. He put his tongue out and everything. So did that take away from Kobe's ability and how great he was? No. That's just how it go. You know? He had to take his ability and to find a way to develop it. So he learned from his teacher, which was Mike, man. You see? Period, man. It's just that simple, you know? But anyway, it says, verse 5 in the KJV, for every man shall bear his own burden. Okay? In the NLT, for we are each responsible for our own conduct. You see? Let him that is taught, this is in the KJV, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. We'll get it in the NLT. Those who are taught the word, you see, those who are taught, you are taught by men. Okay? Those who are taught the word of Yahweh Shema Shah should provide for their teachers, you see, sharing all good things with them, man. There it is, man. And they're going to tell you, don't be misled. You cannot mock the justice of Yahweh Shema Shah. You always harvest what you plant, man. So if you're not doing that, you're actually acting like this is not the conduct that one is supposed to have. Well, that's what you planting, you know. And if you're not having the conduct you're supposed to have, you're having the ways of death then, you know. And that's what you're gonna harvest, man. Okay, you're gonna harvest falling the hell out, you know, being recognized by yourself, being, you know, you're gonna get, they say men pray in the streets, you know, to be seen, you know. Well, there go your reward right there, man. You want to be the big shot, the distasteful dude is just you, and you know, sister that, you know, I did this myself, and you know what I'm saying. Well, that's what you're gonna get, you know, whatever come with that. That's your glory. Okay. Anyway. Now, Paul, he's pushing this. Because this is how Yahweh Shema Shah gets down, man. Okay, so you're supposed to acknowledge that you are taught by your teachers. And you're supposed to share all good things with them. You see what I'm saying? Period. It's supposed to be a conversation and lessons and videos on the highways. You see what I'm saying? Real. It ain't supposed to be you trying to act like it's just you and it's just me. When it's supposed to be, we supposed to be like a Cuban link, man. One big chain. You know, you can't separate from me. It's supposed to be a bounce off, if you will. You know, one big think tank, man. In order though. You see what I'm saying? Once again, edifying one another, comforting one another. What do you think is gonna happen with you doing these things? You're gonna be you're gonna be edifying, like, man, it's cool to not act like you just know it all and you somebody and fame yourself to be somebody. So it's okay to actually acknowledge those amongst you, and as people say, give people their flowers while they can still smell them. Well, that kind of go back to the scriptures, man. People full of it, man. People are full of it. Like Kanye made that song, My Big Brother. You see? Big Brother. Now it's not idolizing, it's just, it's just order, it's respect. It's you keeping the commandments, man. You can't understand the two. I'm gonna have to do a lesson by the Spirit, Lord will. I'm not saying this to sound all up, but I'm just saying by the Spirit, we ought to understand these things. There's a difference between worship and reverence, man. Well, really, they're the same thing, but idolizing, I'll say. But really, on what level? There's different types of idolatry, I'll say. Idolizing, I'll say, by the Spirit. But anyway, let me get this. I'm going to just bring what I got out. This 2 Peter 2:1. It says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them. You see? And bring upon themselves swift destruction. One's going to front on the Lord. Front on your teachers, period. Because you can't, how about Shmuel Shah taught me, like, yeah, you might got revelations no one taught you and necessarily broke down to you. The Lord, he supped with you, came in, but you still got moments where men outright inspire you, man. You see what I'm saying? And you have those that, and then you men that's outright just been taught the entire time. You've been sat down on the stool like, look, how can you sit here in front? How can any of us do this, man? How can we not acknowledge the body parts that's helping one another, man? By the toe not taking enough blood, taking too much blood, that's helping me just off of that. So I gotta get, come on, man. But it's this in the NLT, it says, but there were also false prophets in Israel, just as there will be false teachers among you. And it says that this is the header is the danger of false teachers. You're a false teacher if you're like this. They will cleverly teach destructive heresies and even deny the master who bought them. You see, that's the teacher. It says in this way, the number one master, the master Yahweh Shah. In this way, they will bring sudden destruction on themselves. And you have masters. You see what I'm saying? You got other teachers, but Yahweh Shah is the master. Okay. It says in this way, they will bring sudden destruction on themselves. You see, there it is, man. So yeah, see what else we holding. Yeah, don't front, man. So you get that out to the system, man. Okay. All right, I got a couple more scriptures. This is Ephesians 4. And I'm going to start at verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets. These are facts. And some evangelists. Everybody not these things. And some pastors and teachers. Okay. And this is in the NLT. Now these are the gifts that Hamashiach gave to the church. The apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, and the pastors and the teachers. Okay. It says in the KJV, next verse, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. In the NLT, their responsibility is to equip Yahweh Bashmial Shai's people to do his work and build up the church, the body of Hamashiach. So it's always about one another, man. It says, till we all, in the KJV, come into the unity of the faith. Okay, this is prophecy. This is going to happen. This is going to be this is going to be manifested by the elect, right? It says, and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh Bashmial Shah unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach. Okay, it says in the NLT, this will continue, you see, until we all come to such unity in our faith and knowledge of God's Son, Yahweh's Son, that we will be mature in the Lord. See? It takes maturity, man. It's one of the keys of heaven, man. This is one of the keys of the kingdom, man. This is a key to unlock the kingdom. Let me put it like that. Measuring up to the full and complete standard of Hamashiach. Okay? It says, verse 14 in the KJV, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Yeah, you got men that hold this word, dividing this word deceitfully, man. You know? And that's what you are doing if you are having these traits with trying to call yourself a teacher, you know, or a brother or a sister, man, you know, a believer. Then we will no longer be immature. This is in the NLT. Then we will no longer be immature like children. We won't be tossed and blown by every wind of new teaching. We will not be influenced when people try to trick us with lies so clever they sound like the truth. And that's what you're doing if you're simply trying to sit here and act like it's just you, man. You're lying, man. And you are trying to sound like the truth. You see? Verse 15 in the KJV, it says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Hamashiach. You see? Okay. And continue 16, it says, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted. You see, it's a body. By that which every joint supplieth. By that which every joint supplieth. So how you gonna act like you the only part, man? Oh, it's just you. According to the effectual working in the measure of every part. Every part that someone does affects the other. Make it increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. So it's things that men and brothers and sisters is doing that's affecting other brothers and sisters in this truth, man. You see? Come on, man. Really dealing with you men, man. It says in the NLT, he makes the whole body fit together perfectly as each part does its own special work. It helps the other parts grow so that the whole body is healthy and growing and full of love. You're trying to act like it's you. Oh, I was just sitting thinking. And the brother gave you a thought, man. The Lord used that brother, gave you a thought. You ain't in nobody, man. You know, you got problems with saying double honors to the apostles and elders. You know, you just use that as a cloak. You don't even acknowledge the brothers around you, man. And they're lying. Get the hell out of here, man. May the Lord kill all these fakes, man. You know, and may the Lord allow the elect to grow that are struggling with this right now into being like this. Ephesians 4 and 17, it says, this is a commandment. This I command, this is in the KJV. This I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh Bashmial Shah through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart. You see? It says, who being past filling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness to work all uncleanness with greediness. This is really those really greedy traits, man. You see, in the NLT it says they have no sense of shame. They live for lustful pleasure and eagerly practice every kind of impurity, man. This guy's just crazy, bro. In the KJV it says, but ye have not so learned Hamashiach. You see, in the NLT. But that isn't what you learned about Hamashiach. KJV, in the next verse, it says, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, you see, as the truth is in him, the truth is in Yahweh Shah. You see? There you go, man. It says that ye put off concerning, these are commandments, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. Okay, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man which is after Yahweh Shah, which after Yahweh Shah is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore put away lying, speak every man truth from his neighbor. Slakia. Wherefore put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another, man. So you got brothers that see that this brother's completely in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'al Shah. He doesn't get acknowledged. And that same brother inspired you. He edified you. He admonished you. He made you do 3 lessons today. You know? And in the moments when you could mention that, you put it off. You're like, Now, we're not here to flatter one another, because flattery worketh ruin. But there's a difference between flattery, right, and esteeming one another, man. And acknowledging one another, man. You see? See how much this is all throughout the scriptures? This is in the NLT, and I'm going to move on. I got 2 more passages. It says, throw off your old sinful nature. Ephesians 4:22 in the NLT. And your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. You know? You get so damn, that's how you know you proud. When you done got the truth. At first, you was the humble person that could hear and listen. You know, you just wanted to, you know, you was just all about the truth. Now you just this master grand teacher and nobody else exists. It says, put on your new nature created to be like Yahweh Ba'al Shah, truly righteous and holy. Stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth. For we are all parts of the same body, man. You can't act like I don't exist, bro. You don't exist. He doesn't exist. Come on, man. She doesn't exist. Stop fronting, man. Ain't no edification in that. No comfort in that. And that's gonna cause bodies to die. There's no because in that, in edifying and admonishing and exhorting, that's supporting the other limbs. If you're not supporting these limbs that's on your body, your actual body, they're gonna die. And the Lord, he already said what's gonna happen to men that offend one of these little ones, man. All right? So stop tripping. Okay, I got one more after this. This is 2 Timothy 2, and I'm gonna start at 9. Do thy diligence to come. This is headed Paul's final words. Do thy diligence to come shortly unto me, for Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, right? Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. Okay, only Luke is with me. Take Mark and bring him with thee, for he is profitable to me for the ministry. So it's men that's over men. So how could a man act like another man, ain't, come on, in existence, man? He set these men up. Antiochus have I sent to Ephesus. The cloak that I left at Troas with Carpus, when thou comest, bring with thee, and the books, but especially the parchments. But look how Paul, he's not just some tyrant that's just, he getting all the, no, he's naming these brothers that's around. It's real life. He like Mark bring Mark because he's profitable. He like Luke here with me. You see what I'm saying? He's like Crescens he's in Galatia. Titus, he's in Dalmatia. Demas, they exist. He mentioned them because they affect him. See that? Verse 11, only Luke is with me. Take Mark and bring him with thee, for he is profitable to me for the ministry. Come on, man. See? This is verse 9 in the NLT. Timothy, please come as soon as you can. Demas has deserted me because he loves the things of this life and has gone to Thessalonica, man. Crescens has gone to Galatia and Titus has gone to Dalmatia, man. Only Luke is with me. Bring Mark with you when you come, for he will be helpful to me in my ministry, man. See that? That's a video right there. See how Paul talking? All right, this is my last scripture, man. All right. Adawan Ratazah. This is 2 Timothy 2, right? And I'm going to start at 3. It says, this is headed in the blue letter, encouragement to be faithful. It says, I thank God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, whom I serve from my forefathers. Remembrance, Slakia, that without ceasing I have remembrance of thee in my prayers night and day. See how Paul, he gave those credence, acknowledgement, reverence. He esteemed his forefathers because that's how he's serving in the first place. Greatly desiring to see thee, being mindful of thy tears, that I may be filled with joy when I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee. See how he's talking about another? It says, which dwelt first in thy grandmother Lois, you see, and thy mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that in thee also. You see, he like you got me thinking right now. I can see the spirit in you, man. Hey, it says, wherefore I put thee in remembrance. Listen, he's saying it for what it is. He said, wherefore I put thee in remembrance, but not saying it like that, right? He's saying it in the right spirit. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. See that? Why would the Lord allow Paul to say this, man? So stop acting like it's just you, all right? And you ain't inspired, man. Let's go to all brothers in the spirit and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Stop acting like that. There's many brothers that inspire me, man. You know, it ain't that many, but it's many, because I don't listen to everybody like that, man. But I got, I can name brothers now. Arwan, the beloved brother Yahweh Call, just to name a few off the top of my head, man. Well, a couple. You know, the brother Kazak, his spirit, when he in it, the brother, like the fire, man. Brothers in my congregation directly, man. When they on fire, man. You know, it's a joy to see the brother at the war. You know, it's beautiful to see. Ain't nothing to say. Like, what's the goddamn issue, man? What's the issue? Make no goddamn sense, man. You scared because somebody gonna find out you got taught. You got inspired. Anyway, man, it says, for the Most High have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power. Oh, Elder Yashawamba. The elder, the beloved elder, and I just say it like this because, you obviously got preferences, some that affect you more than others. Ariala. All right. How the GMS brothers, the DMS Dallas brothers run their camp, man. With a sense of integrity and maturity, man. And with soul, man. Ain't some damn robots or something like that, or nothing like that, man. But I can keep going, man. Brothers that just be quiet, I admire that, man. Brothers amongst them, I just don't understand. I just don't get it, bro. I don't get it. You fakes gonna get out of here, bro. It says, for God have not, the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I'm solid, man. What's the issue? What's the issue? We all into the same things. There's only one spirit and one truth. So how can you act like you? It don't make no goddamn sense, man. How can you sit here in front, man? I just don't get it, bro. It says, be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord. See? Nor of me, his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel. Yeah, kill your damn pride, man. Your damn image, your persona, man. Your so-called persona, man. Kill your rap name. How about that, man? It says, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, who hath saved us and called us with an holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Hamashiach Yahushua before the world began, man. So it's all about you're subject to the next, man. It says, but somebody above you, man, or next to you, man, affected by another, man. It says, but is now made manifest by the appearing of our Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, who hath abolished death. And that's why a lot of people buck up against Yahushua, because they can't give credence to somebody else, man. They need a doctrine that doesn't allow, because it was a point in time when we didn't have a king, you know what I'm saying? And they could just be their own man and just act like, it didn't work, man. Because there's gifts that other people have that you need, man. Traits, So you wouldn't even be here. If you didn't have a person that was into making clothes while you not, you wouldn't even be wearing clothes, bro. Anyway, it says, and the women, man, your wife, she cook, you ain't into cooking. So you can't front on her. And you women, most of you wouldn't dare to try to figure the Bible out, man. How to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and get it right and have the diligence to do it, man. And stay in order and not be emotional about the carrying out of the doctrine the correct way at all times. No, you wouldn't do that, man. So without your husband that's in the truth, you finished, man. You're done. You through. Ain't no more cooking. You through. If you even cook. Because most of these women don't even cook. But anyway, so another thing. It says in immortality to light through the gospel, right? Whereunto I am appointed a preacher and a apostle. Oh, and the women definitely got to be subject, because Adam was created first, then Eve, man. Just going into that, man. It's more in life than just goddamn cooking. So the man that put you on a higher level to make you think of, he allows you to help, You got women that's just naturally tapped into the spirit. That she probably into ancient things and stuff like that. But if the man went here first, she still got to be subject to her Israelite man. Because if Adam went here first, it don't matter. You see? So thank him for putting you on at the end of the day, regardless. The man, which is Yahweh Shah. But anyway, it says, and brought life and immortality to light through the gospel, whereunto I am a preacher. I am appointed a preacher and a apostle and a teacher of the Gentiles, for the which cause I also suffer these things. Nevertheless, I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed, for I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that Paul subjected somebody to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. Hold fast the form of sound words which thou hast heard of me. See? Why the Lord allow Paul to talk like that? Sometimes you gotta tell men you taught them, man. You see what I'm saying? But not in the wrong spirit. But you don't even do that. You let another esteem you and not your own lips. The scriptures tell us that, man. But obviously the Lord is trying to get us to notice something. It says in faith and in love, which is in Hamashiach Yahushua, that good thing which was committed unto thee, keep by the Holy Spirit which dwelleth in us. It says, this thou knowest, that all they which are in Asia be turned away from me. See that? Of whom are Philegus and Hermogenes. You see? Some ain't with them, man. They start fronting on Paul. It says, the Lord give mercy unto Onipus, for he oft refreshed me, and was not ashamed of my chains. You see, But when he was in Rome, he sought me out very diligently, man. That's the real men of the Lord, man. Acting like one another exists and everyone affects one another, man. That's a nation again. You see, the Lord grant unto him that he might find mercy of the Lord in that day. And then how many things he ministered unto me. He ministered unto me at Ephesus. Thou knowest very well. See? Paul wasn't ashamed to say, man. You see? He wasn't ashamed to say, man. Okay? And I had one more scripture I want to bring out by the Spirit. Empower Yahweh by Shemel Shah. Yep. 1 Corinthians in the 4th chapter. This says, okay, 1 Corinthians 4, and we're going to start at verse 14. I didn't read all the way through. That's what it was. 1 Corinthians 4 and 14. I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you. In the NLT, I am not writing these things to shame you, but to warn you as my beloved children. In the KJV, next verse. For though ye have 10,000 instructors in Hamashiach, yet all these brothers out here, teaching, etc., yet have ye not many fathers. For in Hamashiach Yahushua I have begotten you through the gospel. In the NLT, it says, for even if you had 10,000 others to teach you about Hamashiach, you have only one spiritual father. For I became your father in Hamashiach Yahushua when I preached the good news to you. See? You got men that gave birth to men, and like, man, come on, man. It says, verse 16, it says, wherefore I beseech you, in the KJV, be ye followers of me. NLT, so I urge you to imitate me. KJV, next verse, for this cause have I sent unto you Timotheus, who is my beloved son, and faithful in the Lord, who shall bring you into remembrance of my ways. See? He not a fronter, which be in Hamashiach, as I teach everywhere in church. As I teach everywhere in every church. See? This is NLT. That's why I have sent Timothy, my beloved and faithful child. Because you got some children that ain't faithful, man. It says he will remind you of how I follow Hamashiach Yahushua, just as I teach in all the churches wherever I go. So Timothy can't front like it's just him and Paul. He taught him, he birthed him. He gonna be talking about Paul, man. When he can, when he should. That's it. It's not flattery. We're not talking about flattery, right? Just as I teach in all the churches wherever I go. In KJV, next verse. But now some are puffed up, as though I will not come to you. Now who's the some? His other children. You see, this is in the NLT. Some of you have become arrogant, thinking I will not visit you again. In the KJV, next verse. But I will come to you shortly, if the Lord will, and will know not the speech of them which are puffed up, but the power. You see, bunch of talk, man. But what's the reality? You see, NLT. But I will come, and soon, if the Lord lets me, and then I'll find out whether these arrogant people just give pretentious speeches, or whether they really have God's power. We'll see if the Lord with you, or the Lord with the other man that inspired you.
Pretentious.
It means attempting to impress by affecting greater importance, talent, culture, etc. than is actually possessed. You see what I'm saying? So that's what pretentious mean, man. You trying to act like you got something you don't really got, man. You see what I'm saying? Your situation is a situation that really isn't. That's so distasteful. You just playing yourself, man. So we can't be like that. So I'm going to give all honor, praise, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Wahakudash Rakah, Dwadi Ha Ba'ashem Yahushua, Kahawa Kakudash, double honors to the hopefully elect elder apostle slaved to be saved. Lord willing, starting with those at the Great Millstone Church, on down to the rest that may be out here abiding, and the rest of you brothers that teach this truth in all faith and sincerity, also giving all diligence, and you inspire one another, inspire me also to keep going, man, with your lessons and just your continuation, you know, your stiff-neckedness, man, you know, and you sisters that show all the ancient women, you know, they're not gone, man. They may not be in the same exact stead, but, you know, they aren't gone. So, shalom.